Welcome back. Joining us on the show now is Rahul Mirchandani. He's Chairman and Managing Director at Aries Agro. Rahul, hi. Thank you so much for joining in. First of all, your sense really on the West Asia conflict and the impact it already has had on fertilizer. A peace deal is in place now. Of course, the 60 days for a final resolution onto this one. But the Strait of Hormuz is open. And how is India looking at that in sense of supplies?
Well, thanks, Manisha. I think the fertilizer sector has been one of the most affected, considering that a lot of inflows of fertilizers come in from the Strait. As far as we are concerned, our fertilizer stocks our fertilizer stocks across the entire industry seem to be fairly robust, considering we had, built up stocks during the off season. But as of now, I think with the delayed monsoon, the higher rates of the dollar as well as the fertilizer availability issues, I think there's an availability crisis, and more importantly, everybody is waiting for the monsoons to really see how demand plays out in this particular season. But as of now, yes, it's a wait and watch game. The Strait of Hormuz is open, not open. It kind of keeps changing on a day-to-day basis. But as far as micronutrients, the area that we are in specifically, we did stock up significantly during the season. We're also a Make in India manufacturer. So I think Make in India companies who are making a lot of the alternative substitutes to these fertilizers, especially water solubles and micronutrients, we should be fine in terms of availability scenario. But of course, pricing is a big concern with almost a 30-40% jump during the first quarter itself.
Oh, absolutely. And the input costs have gone up as well. I was comparing the prices as compared to last year to this year. That's a cost to you as well. You talked about monsoons, and with the 43% efficiency is what we're looking at for the month of June. July, first half is anticipated good, second half not so much, but that is something that we'll watch out for. What are the calculations that you're doing in regard to monsoons and the requirement?
See, I think many of us have done the off-season placement. I think that is true of most of us companies. Right now, the end of June, it's about a 20-day delay at the moment on average. This 20-day delay is not as worrisome as long as it picks up now. And I think the indications are that the season is picking up, the monsoon onto the subcontinent. And as long as the next 15-20 days show some good showers and cover some of the monsoon deficits, and July gives a good kind of a spread of monsoon across the country, then I think we should be fine in terms of the Kharif season. As far as later monsoon is concerned, frankly, there was way too much monsoon last year, at times later in the season when frankly it's not required. So as long as the season picks up now and for the next about a month, if we get a good spread of monsoon across the country, I think the demand scenario should be fine. Irrigation definitely is going to help. I think the significant amount of investment that the country has done on irrigation does definitely show that the irrigated pockets with good groundwater conditions will tide over the wave of any rain-fed areas having a deficit monsoon. But I think in a mix of both, I think the next 20 days are very, very crucial. The monsoon and the season seems to be picking up. Most of us have stocks available in terms of fertilizer availability. So I think, except for the price issues, I think more or less Indian-made manufacturers would be able to supply farmers in India with very, very adequate amounts of fertilizer.
That point is well taken. Rahul, you also have been championing fast-track refund on when it comes to the inverted duty structure. You've been talking about that for a very, very long time. It also is about the GST benefits to micronutrients. How close are we to all of these policy changes that you have been pushing for?
Well, I think what we are pushing for is that any fertilizer covered under the fertilizer control order should actually have a common duty structure of 5%. This has been our common claim. What we're looking at is there are a particular schedule, Schedule 1G, that too for manufactured items, made in India items, only the 5% duty is available. This does leave an inverted duty structure. So as of now, we've had multiple meetings, not only at the Ministry of Agriculture, but also looking at follow-up meetings with the Niti Aayog as well as the Finance Ministry, in order to ensure that every fertilizer controlled under the fertilizer control order should come under a common duty structure of 5%. This will ensure price parity, duty parity in terms of all the elements, and more importantly, the inverted duty structure will get reformed. Many of us who are, some of us who are registered under the central GST, for us, the refunds are definitely in terms of better in terms of speed. But in terms of those registered in various states, I think there is definitely a cause for concern that many of them are not getting their refunds as fast as they are expecting them to be. But I think if the government looks at uniform GST on any fertilizer under the fertilizer control order, I think this will more or less get covered up, and multiple meetings are happening not only at the company level but also at the level of the Indian Microfertilizers Manufacturer Association, which also I'm the president of. So I think in general, we are having a good amount of discussions with the government at various levels, various ministries, and we're quite hopeful that they will take this up as a reform measure in the not too distant future.
Rahul, that point is well taken. Thank you so much for joining in. So that really is the cue coming in from, unless you are under the state, there are issues, but under the common central government, when it comes to dues, etc., is getting done very, very quickly. And as Rahul says, Make in India is the way to go forward, and that is where we are looking at most micronutrient manufacturers actually do quite well.